What's going on YouTube? Fulton and Dylan here.
How's it going, guys? So we're doing a video, guys, where we're going to kind of give our 2018 wrap-up summary of what we saw out of the vaping industry. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what we think we're going to end up seeing in 2019, whether it be certain devices or style of devices, new CBD products that we think are going to come into the store, things of that nature.
Start off with the whole 2018 recap. A huge thing that we saw the start of was salt-based devices.
Yeah.
So the Novos, the Nords, the Breezes, the everything.
And even within that subcategory of salt-based devices, we ended up seeing... Where are you going?
I should grab my salt-based.
So even in that subcategory, we saw some changes already happen in that. So at first we saw these very small, thin, small battery devices.
Like the Juul.
Like the Juul, which is now I don't know if you heard about this, but they just made a deal with a big tobacco company, actually the biggest tobacco company in the United States.
Marlboro?
The company that owns Marlboro.
Oh!
Yeah, so now they actually doubled in value. They're a $38 billion company now.
But with the Juuls, they were a pre-filled device. There were some issues in the beginnings with them, whether the coils were bad in the beginning or they were flooded and spit at you. Because you run into the issue, yes, you have the pre-filled pods, but if you leave this on the shelf for a month, the coil's just going to get flooded, and the first time you try to hit it, it's just going to be...
Spit back at you.
Ugh.
But then we saw the introduction of devices like the Novo, which are refillable pod systems that became actually very, very popular, and a lot of people that had originally gone with the Juul ended up switching over to a refillable system just because it's a little bit more eco-friendly, it's a little bit more cost-effective for the juice, and you get a slightly bigger hit, better battery, things like that. And then even from there, we ended up seeing a switch over to devices like the Nord and the Vape Panda, which are bigger pod systems, but have significantly more battery. So that was something that I definitely saw a popularity change go towards, was instead of a small, compact device, which still is very popular, we ended up seeing slightly bigger devices that now can also take mesh coils. And so you can run really whatever kind of juice you want into it. You don't just run salt nicotine, you can run free-base nicotine and run, higher vegetable glycerin juices in there that are a little bit thicker.
Right. Now, we are saying that they got bigger, but compared to something like the Drag, these devices are still itty-bitty. So this is about the size of a big Bic lighter, I guess. But overall, I tend to enjoy a mix of both, whether it be free-base nicotine or salt-based nicotine. It just depends on what I'm doing, I guess. So like when I'm driving down the road, because I drive from here to Wilmington a lot, I tend to have a salt-based device in my hand rather than a giant box mod.
But yeah, what about, what did we see in the advancement of the box mod style device?
So the box mod style, honestly, the company Vape sticks out in mind.
Yeah.
Just because in like 2017, 2016, all I was seeing was Smock Tech devices, Sigelli / Snowwolf, and what's the last one?
Geek Vape was out there too.
I didn't see too much of Geek Vape. RX, Relo.
Oh, yeah.
The RX 200s, RX 23, all those. Now, in the beginning, it was a race to see who could have the most power. So you get boxes like the GX 350, 350 watts, the RX 300, 300 watts, and all those take 4 batteries. Now, ask yourself, would you ever vape at 350 watts?
Probably not.
It's a cool party trick.
But that's about it.
That's honestly it.
And you're going to get great battery life out of a 4 battery device, but you also have to buy 4 batteries and the device.
Yeah. The 4, I own quite a bit. Actually on a 5 battery device.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's unnecessary.
Honestly, it was the biggest piece of garbage I've ever bought too.
One, I saw, at least towards the end of the year, a switch from the external battery devices into a little bit more advancement into the internal battery box mods. Which is something that kind of surprised me because there's a lot of upsides to an external battery device, and I have one and I still have a preference for one. But what we saw was a lot of people starting to have a preference for not having to switch batteries out, being able to charge it with a USB, a little bit more convenience out of them. And they can grab the device and start vaping it out the door, right? They don't have to buy batteries for it, they don't have to charge it, they don't have to get a charger for them.
Right.
So it's all in one item coming out with. Yeah. So we gave the example of the Drag Mini, which is a fantastic little device. It's that all in one kind of deal. It's super convenient for people that don't want to buy batteries or a charger. Right. It's simple. And then we also have devices now that we also notice that they're getting smaller, these mod style devices. Now we have things like the Aegis Mini, which is...
This thing's itty bitty.
It's tiny. It's real tiny. And,
Mojo.
Vape Mojo is another really, tiny, slick-looking internal battery device. And that's been the style lately.
Yeah, but the last thing that we want to talk about in 2018 was CBD.
Yeah.
CBD has made a huge impact in the past year.
So this store has sold CBD for, 2+ years now?
Something like that.
And really it was this year that we saw just a massive spike in popularity and interest and just variety of CBD products. So nowadays, before you only really saw the tinctures, that was the first OG hemp product was, your typical sublingual method. And now we have vape liquids, even pre-rolls, dog treats.
Honey sticks, gummy bears.
Tattoo cream, topicals are now a thing, a big thing. And you're seeing them in states like North Carolina now where CBD was, just barely being allowed to be sold here, let alone really talked about and hyped up. And now that it's been federally legalized, you're going to be seeing a lot more CBD products. And even in this store, that's something that I definitely think we're going to see a lot more of. Is a much wider variety of different types of CBD products, and not just one brand, but several different brands with different strands that go into them, different states that they're sourced from. We just got an isolate brand in an Earthbound, so we now have a cheaper alternative for those looking to vape CBD.
Not to forget the Mellow Pods.
The Mellow Pods, now we have Juul compatible CBD pods. So it's everywhere now, and it's only going to get bigger. But yeah, that's just kind of a quick little recap of 2018. I think that's what's going to end up happening in 2019. Is just we're going to see a massive explosion of CBD and hemp products in the vaping industry.
Huge.
I think that's just going to be something that it's going to be typical on a premium e-liquid shelf here in a minute. I think it's going to get that big. Mm-hmm. You're still going to have your typical nicotine premium e-liquids, but I think shortly here in a bit, you're going to start seeing vape shops have their shelves filled with premium e-liquids that are CBD infused.
Now, what I see that's going to happen in 2019 is more along the lines, not really CBD related, more pod style systems. So the pod style systems that we have now are great, but I see it in the future that somehow, some way, they're going to make I guess you could say an adapter that you can screw onto your box mods. All the box mods you have that can plug in pretty much any salt-based device. A lot more battery life, a durable mod, and the mod that you've had for 2 years, and now you can screw your salt base onto anybody's.
But yeah, that's kind of all I think I have for just the quick wrap up. I guess it wasn't that quick.
That was 20 minutes.
Yeah, I guess we took some liberties. I thought it was going to be quick, but then we had a lot to say.
A lot happened in 2018, and I hope even more happens in 2019.
Yeah, I hope we still see those same level of innovation because, don't get me wrong, it can be a good and a bad thing in a lot of ways because if you're innovating too much, then everyone's going to have to get the new thing constantly.
iPhone.
But yeah, guys, that's all we have for you. Hope you watched to the end of this video. Show us some love down in the comment section below. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like, and what you think is going to happen in the vaping industry in 2019, and what you liked or didn't like about 2018.
And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next video.